At eRoad, we believe fleet management doesn't have to be problematic. It should be effortless, connected, and future-ready for your heavy-duty operation. With a reliable, accurate technology solution, you can elevate your fleet's performance, improve productivity across your business, monitor events as they happen, and reduce costs and downtime. Get on the road to better fleet management and safer, more productive operations. Go beyond the basics and visit eroad.com today.
Welcome to Running on Ice, the coolest community in freight. I'm your host, Mary O'Connell, bringing you the latest tech updates, warehouse news, and everything happening in the cold chain world. Not only is there the coolest show in freight, but there's also Running on Ice, the newsletter that could not be colder. You can subscribe to that on freightwaves.com/runningonIce. Today, we welcome back Per Magna, CEO and founder of Surfact. Welcome to back, Per.
Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure being back at the studio. Thanks.
I personally love what has happened for you guys in between the last time you were on the show and now. You guys have really said, cool, we're going to take over the world. No big deal. Which is honestly the best people to take over the world, if I may be so bold. But last time you were here, we broke down the Emma tracker, which is your infamous hockey puck tracker. With the casual 2-year battery life and has all the real-time data that anyone would need. But now you guys are back and you're expanding into the U.S. food distribution side of things. You've got some new partners with Catena Clearing and CSCS. Why did you choose those guys? It's like, hey, these are the ones that we want to jump into the U.S. food distribution market with.
Yeah, first of all, this is it's been great for us, both the entry into the American market, but also I think you love Norwegians at least because we have gotten a lot of new clients, and also the partnership with the Catena Clearing and CSCS here is something that we're very proud of, being part of a bigger ecosystem when it comes to not only temperature tracking, but also telematics and all the other stuff that goes into fleet management that our clients need. So yes, as you said, we're going to take over the world, and the reason is the waste in food and pharma, and this is our go-to. And yeah, US is welcoming us very much. So thank you.
Hey, anytime. I personally, I know because your partners have been in the news for very good things recently. Catena Clearing just had a huge funding raise. CSCS is kind of setting the industry standard for things on just about everything. So you guys are in good company there because you don't want to have partners that are making the news for, the wrong thing. Not that any of those guys would. But why did you guys choose food service as like the main avenue or the main industry to kind of expand here in the US into? Was it a choice? Did you guys actively say, yes, food service, this is what it is? Or was it just kind of like sure, let's figure it out and see how it goes?
No, it's twofolded, but the waste in food and pharma is the same size. 1/3, is wasted from production to end user. So it's both are interesting for us, and we have clients in both segments. But we see a lot of uptake and faster uptake in the food industry. Might be because of regulations, but then again, we are NIST and ISO certified, so it should be the same thing. But the reason is that we see the uptake, we see the interest from the clients on the food side, and that's why we enter into the US market now and scale with them. It's not that we don't want the pharma stuff; it's just that it looks faster and easier with the food stuff.
That's kind of excuse me. That's been a common theme that has kind of come out of all of this kind of evolution of technology and the development of technology. And that is the food service side of things are so much faster to adapt. Like they are more willing to kind of give it a whirl, give it a chance. Like they're like, yeah, sure, we'll just try it and see what happens. But the pharmaceutical side, we were talking about a couple months ago on the show that, you know, a lot of times they will have some of the more antiquated technology and some of the, I would say, not as strong of the visibility land of things, but that because it's, you know, it's work, it has proven that it's worked, and in a lot of those larger organizations, it's harder to make changes, especially around something so heavily regulated. Not that food's not regulated appropriately, but the pharmaceuticals and some of those ultra sensitive medicines, you know, there are pretty high stakes, and so it's high stakes and it's high cost. So you don't want to just say, yeah, sure, let's wing it. And try something new when this has been proven to work. But then again, the trade-off is that you're going to have 30% waste, which I don't know, call me crazy, but it seems like it would be worth it to try with like maybe a lower cost medicine to just see how it goes instead of just casually saying I'm going to waste 30% of all my product.
Yeah, of course. And another thing is that it might be slower. Okay, food, it's fresher, it lasts for less time, so it's more critical perhaps. The turnaround, I guess it's faster than pharma. But the real headache here perhaps is that if you're stuck in the old ways, you know, monitoring temperature on the inlet air, on the reefers, you know, if you don't, because that's our strength that we, you know, you put one of these on a pallet or on a truck and it's digitized in seconds. And the other thing is that we actually simulate and stay close to the goods because that's the important part. So it's not, I would wish for them to turn around faster, and we will eventually come there as well. But I think you don't need to be like at the forefront bleeding edge, but the old stuff is the old stuff, and there are new technologies coming, you know, with Catena clearing, CSCS, you know, the whole data gathering, AI, smartness. It's something that I think the pharma industry also would be interested in joining, and I guess they are joining later on. But let's stick to food as of now, and we're also visiting a fair down in Columbus, Ohio this weekend and early next week. So it's really the food that we are talking to right now, if we could.
I like it. You guys are just kind of doing that, like the hunt, like not like the hunter approach, but like there's a deer in the woods that's like the pharmaceutical industry, and you're like, we're just gonna sit here, and we're here if you decide that you want to come up here. Because I didn't realize some of the older, not necessarily the older, some of the other temperature loggers that you literally have to wait for the shipment to get delivered, and then you take it and plug it into a computer, and then someone's entire job is to basically copy and paste an Excel file of all the times the temperature logger read into whatever they're doing to manage and track it after it's been delivered and like put away. And I was like, you guys, this feels like a giant waste of time.
And that's the clue here, because we're all used to this, right? A phone, an iPhone, whatever, and this works the same way. And that's the whole clue. You just stick it on. But just rewinding to that, you know, old school, new school technology evolving, because one thing is the USB loggers and stuff like that. You know, it works for its usage, but really. A lot of the transporters, a lot of the clients, they rely on the temperature from the refrigerated unit on the reefer, you know, measuring just the air going in or going out. And that's also something that it might not be true for the goods inside. Yeah, so that's a valid point as well.
Because there's been some times where I've heard that, you know, some of the, because trailers are very long, you know, they have quite a lot of, that's a lot of air to circulate, especially if the temperature outside is nowhere near what it needs to be inside. And so some of the things I've seen is like, you know, some of the freight on pallets, even on the outside, is closer to the seams or other stuff, or even the stuff back by the reefer unit more, like those are the ones that are more susceptible to be out of temperature, whether the one back by the reefer unit maybe gets a little too cold, and the ones on the edges or by the door gets a little too warm because maybe you're in the middle of the desert in the middle of the summer where it's just going to be hot, and that reefer unit is going to need to be working overtime. Because I mean, it is hard to know to take care of 53 feet to keep it all the same temperature all the time, because it's just, I mean, it's a lot. It's like in your house, you turn your air conditioner on and maybe it's colder in one bedroom, colder in the basement, or colder somewhere else. That's just the nature of airflow,
Yeah, and that's a good comparison because inside your home you have the different temperature monitors and thermostats in different rooms because you want, same temperature or different temperature, but it's the same inside a container or a reefer or whatever. So that's why Emma, she is very versatile. So you could just put it on wherever you like. Of course, you could just smack it on the wall and you have a digital trailer if you'd like, but then you could have more resolution if you put it on more of the compartments or inside the goods, or the more resolution you want, the more units you can put in. And of course, it depends on how valuable the goods are, how much control you want, but this is part of our solution. You could have one step of resolution, and then you can go down and down and down and down until you have full control.
I like that full control of an entire shipment. That makes the person in me that doesn't like to leave things up to other people, because what if they make a mistake? That makes me incredibly happy. However, I understand that the cost that comes with that is, a little bit more excessive. Yes.
Just a comment on that. It's for when you have shipments like we have clients transporting salmon from Norway and out into the world. So when you put it on the pallet with the goods, one part is with the truck, and then it goes to an airport, it goes on a plane, but then you get the full visibility also on the tarmac inside the plane, and then all the way to the client, and the client can take it, scan it, or do whatever, get the data, and okay, check, it's good, and then you can just send it back. So it's more expensive, but it depends on the resolution you would like and the control you need. So, but anyway, we're versatile and we can manage different kind of cases.
That tarmac thing is very key because I think a lot of people think that, oh, my freight's going on a plane. So they get the plane ready for it and then they bring it out of the cold area and they stick it up there. But that's not always the case, as I've learned, because sometimes things will sit on the tarmac for a while, like while they play what I am imagining Jenga or Tetris inside the plane underbelly, as they're sitting there trying to figure out the best way to load things and make everything work. But yeah, that's a very good point, because you assume that it's in temperature, you assume that they're taking care of it, but like, what if it's a really hot day and your insulation is failing or your dry ice is evaporating faster than normal? Like, it's just some of those things that you just want to not have to worry about. It just seems like why not just throw a tracker on it?
Yeah, and a lot of the centralized hubs we're not going to talk perhaps in length about air travel, but a lot of the hubs are in the Middle East, the big cargo hubs, and there's like scorching temperatures all the time. So you don't need actually that much time on the tarmac either before the ice and the salmon or whatever you're transporting is getting quite smelly and bad.
Yeah, the region famously known for hot temperatures. What is it? What a place to put cold cargo.
Yeah, it's big hubs as well, but that's, yeah.
Anyway, so jumping back into the food side of things, you guys are looking to expand. You're going to the Food Distribution Association conference. I think that's the name of the thing.
That's correct. Correct. Columbus,
you're going
Ohio.
to that. You're all in. Are you now like ready to get on the food circuit? Because it turns out that fresh food and produce conference circuit is quite a circuit. Are you guys ready to just all the way jump in like, hey, food, what you doing? You want to know how things are doing up on your trailers?
Yes, that's why we are doing it also. But yes, of course we are, and we see um, inside food. That's one thing, but at least for the American markets, you being good to us, we see a lot of traction in the trailer tracking segment, cold or cold chain trailer tracking segment, and I guess some of the reason is that. It's versatile. You could just put it on the wall and it's digitized, but we see a lot of uptake there, and a lot of those are transporting food. So that's also part of why we see this as a segment. And yes, we are ready, and we are here this weekend and early next week, and yeah, let's make it happen.
I think that like because I'm convinced that in the food supply chain, because obviously there's a whole bunch of waste, but like the thing is, most of that waste that comes of like that 30%, it is because of improper shipping. Do you know how incredibly infuriating that is? Is that just because something fell out of temperature, wasn't stored properly, packaged properly, that's because it's waste? And like, hello, we're having food waste. We have food insecurity. Why would we just accept the fact that we're just going to lose 30% of it? It's fine. Like, to me, that is unacceptable. 1% is almost unacceptable as well. But however, I do know that margin of error does exist because we are dealing with humans. And it's just things happen, mistakes happen, like equipment failures happen. So like the 1% is better, but that 29 left there, I think just anything would be better than that. But yeah, sorry, I just got off on a tangent because it's just infuriating because we have the solutions that you need to fix it, but it's like, I think I'm just going to settle for losing 30% of my product instead of spending a little bit more money to make it so food actually is edible to people.
Well, that's, how should I put it? That's capitalism in a nutshell. And of course, we need that. But that's why we try to make the tech as good, as affordable, as smart as possible. So you actually could have a return on investment within a couple of months by implementing a system where you can monitor, get the alarms, do something about the waste and the shortage. Because the problem, not the problem, but global population, we're getting more and more people. We need more and more food. And when you waste 30%, you have to produce 30% more. And when those prices rises and meets a point where, technology can fix some of it, then you are at a turning point. And I think we are at a turning point now, not only because it's infuriating, but because we actually need to take care of what we have. And that's, of course, why we're here. And I think within the next few years, we'll see a good uptake in the trailer segment, the food segment, but then the pharma segment will also come after because hopefully, perhaps the prices of pharmaceutical will go down, and then there is a balance there as well. And then they also need to take care of what they have and not waste a percent anywhere.
Yeah, I think pharmaceutical is typically like the kid that like lets everyone else cross the bridge first to make sure that bridge is sturdy and safe, and then they'll cross it. It might take them a while to get there, but like they'll get across eventually. So they just have to see it work 700 times before they go, maybe that'll work for me. Maybe we can just get crazy and try it once. But pharmaceutical industry, I have faith in you. I have faith in you. But that being said, for the future, looking out, the future of Emma, the future of Surfact, what's next for you guys? Are you guys just coming for total world domination? Are you gonna like start getting into even more specific uses in ocean containers and air cargo? What do you guys see happening next?
Well, it's a lot of exciting things happening, but we're now a year in, and we are seeing usage in 18 plus countries for our solution. So the journey has been great thus far. When it comes to world domination, we like to think of it as the battle for battling waste. So it's those 30% in pharma and food that drives us. And of course, we are not the only solution, but our goal, and that's also the reason why we integrate and do partnerships with the Catena Clearing, CSCS. It's that we have to work together. We are global leaders at the hyper local data gathering, simulating the goods down there in the cargo, and then there is other players that does the stuff up here. So world domination, yes, but not alone. So let's just make it a goal to save what's wasted, and then let's work towards that, and then let's do the pieces that needs to be taken, because it's a big elephant, and you need to eat it one chunk at a time. That's the take.
I like that, the solving the waste problem and then working with everyone for world domination. I like that because it just seems like much more manageable, because then, like you said, you're not taking those chunks you're not taking the bites by yourself. You have others to help you. Because honestly, I don't know how you could do world domination as like a solo act, like just outside of being in my opinion, like I know you probably can't say it, but I can say the number one option in temperature logging. That's gonna be that's what I'm gonna say. Look, I'm gonna say that you guys are the best and the only option. However, I do know that there are others in the industry that are very great as well. Everybody has their purpose. However, you guys are still my number one draft pick, if I may be so.
Thank you, Mary. It feels good. Thanks.
Okay. So that being said, we are coming towards the end of our time together today. And we asked you what you would build a house out of last time, but this time, if you could only eat one color of food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, I would like to say brownish, because then you can, eat all the meat and everything. But since we are on a show here and we are going to a fair, so I'll do gold color. So like a bun, like a hamburger. So then I can eat Big Macs the rest of my life. I know it's not the healthiest, but it's in honor of one of our biggest clients. So it's let's do gold color buns and burgers the rest of my life.
I mean, I think gold means that you get French fries too.
I think so.
And like a tater tot, or like pretty much any type of potato situation that's been crisped up. So I personally think that's the number one choice, because I am a French fry fiend through and through. So I think that's probably the best answer that we've ever had.
But perhaps even if it's a gold color and you have the burger, I guess it doesn't get any healthier with the fries. So I think it doesn't help with that. But it's
no,
good.
It doesn't. But you at least
I agree with you. It's and the French fries is,
Exactly. Because like you can't have pink French fries. Like that's weird.
No.
Like you can't have
You
red.
have sweet potato French fries. That's like red, not pink, but
like they're fine. Don't get me wrong. I love a sweet potato French fry as much as the next person, but I want a crispy golden French fry. Like, come on.
Let's go for that.
All right.
Let's go for a Big Mac and fries.
The best. There you go. Just, it's fine. That's you. Who needs a diet of not Big Macs? Not me.
Perfect.
All right. So the pair, if anyone has any questions on maybe where to find the best Big Mac, obviously, or which location to find the best Big Mac at, or who has the best fries, or if they have any questions about everything that we've talked about on the show, or if they want to reach out to connect with you in Columbus, where can they find you outside the show?
Well, you can find us on our web pages and LinkedIn, of course. I guess hopefully you will share my contact information there. And we have Bjørnar and Anders at the fair in Ohio, and they'll also be answering your any questions that you might have if you're there. And if you're not, please contact us through LinkedIn or our homepage, and we'll do what we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and have a nice evening.
You as well. You can catch other episodes of Running on Ice right here on FreightWaves TV, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts like Apple Podcast and Spotify. Need more Running on Ice news? No sweat. Subscribe to the newsletter on freightwaves.com/runningonIce. See you on the internet.